Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
Welcome into the Fairways of Life show. Congratulations to Team USA, winners at Sunday's Solheim Cup after the singles, which I don't know if you guys, I don't think everyone would agree that you come in with a sizable lead into singles and it looks like you're just going to cruise your way through it. It's not so much the way it played itself out. I mean, if you look at the final score, 15.5 to 12.5, right? And you have to bear in mind here that the matches that are on the course after the conclusion will be played out. They need to be for history and for records and so forth. But when you look at what happened in singles, in terms of how it started, right out of the gate, we get Nelly Korda against Charlie Hull. I mean, what great viewing that was, and it was early in the day. Charlie Hull takes down Nelly Korda 6-4. And you're like, we knew that Europe would have to have an absolutely historic comeback. Not that it hasn't been done in team competitions, as we well know, but it would have to be a historic comeback. So they win that first one. There really wasn't a lot of panic. Nelly's had a great Solheim Cup. All right, it's one match. The very next match, Megan Kang takes down Emily Pedersen by a bigger margin, 6-5. You're like, okay then, not a big deal. So when Hall beat Lee, Georgia Hall over Allison Lee, 4-3, that was the first point. Now Europe's actually up one. And you looked at it and go, okay, again, they're so far adrift at that point, early still, yes, but so far adrift is like, what is their worry about? America wins the next 2 points. It was like, how bad could this be? And then, as they say, the tide turned. Look at that board. Look at the blue streaks up on that board. That started to go the way of Europe and really caused a lot of concern. And then to have it finish the way that it did, where America secured that critical half point, Lilia Vu hits a 300-yard drive. Right? The swings on these athletes are so impressive. She hits a 300-yard drive. She has 103 yards left with a wedge to 2 feet. Valenzuela does not concede it, which frankly was right. And then Vu steps up, puts it in the hole, secures a victory for Team USA. So that means if we look at the last 5 years of performances in the Solheim Cup, this is from the last time Team USA won, right? Then they go into the dry spell, losing in 19 with that incredible putt by Suzanne Pedersen at Glen Eagles. They lose in 21. They tie in 23, and then they come back and win in 2024. So when they got together, and I know you guys have seen a lot of the post-round stuff coming in, and I thought it would be fun today to kind of zero in on a few things that I thought were interesting. The first one is this from Stacy Lewis, where she's asked by the media, you were already captain. What needed to change in 2024? And then they follow up with, and your use of statistics. Now, she did that before, too. But how did they work out better this time? Here's Stacy.
They needed to have fun, and they needed to enjoy this. And they needed to do that, but also play good golf. And I think there was just a lot of tension of trying to play perfect golf and not enjoying it in the process. And this team enjoyed this week more than the golf itself. You know, they had so much fun together. They picked each other up when they needed it. They did whatever I asked of them. They were great offering feedback on pairings. I mean, I can't say enough about them. All 12 of them, they played so hard, and it got hard at times, you know, and we knew it would. We knew it would get tough, and it's just crazy how this thing, it doesn't matter what your lead is coming into Sunday. It's half points matter, half points here and there, and just proud of those, you know, that got those matches to 18 and were able to get those half points. Yeah, I honestly think it's the experience of last year and knowing what half a point means, and you know, they were on the wrong side of things last year and knew what that felt like, and I think if last year doesn't happen, you know, maybe today ends a little differently. So I think they all learned a lot last year, and I think it showed up today. I love the pairings that we came up with to start the week, and then you just have to hope that the right people play well to make those pairings work. And we are fortunate is that they did play well, and I didn't have to make any adjustments, and I was able to stick to our plan that we had, and it got us our best possible pairings out. Something that we were talking about in the past, we've always tried to play all of our players in 4-balls, and so we did some research, and the last 5 winning Ryder Cup teams didn't play all of their players in 4-ball. And we'd done that in the past to get everybody ready for singles. And so this year I said, I'm gonna put out the best possible pairings I can for every session, and if it doesn't get everybody in 4-balls, then it doesn't get everybody in 4-balls. And that was something I learned last time that we're probably gonna keep doing going forward.
Shout out to our boy Justin Ray. You helped with a lot of that information and stats we have learned. Awesome, awesome job. Here are the records for Team USA. You can see Nelly Korda there, 3-1-0. Lilia Vu, 1-2-1. Lauren, 3-0-1. Allie was 0-4. Some really good scores. Look at Rose, 4-0-0. So impressive. Megan Kang, 3-0. So Lexi Thompson finished 1-3-0. It's probably her last Solheim Cup. I mean, it's not 100% certain that it will be her final Solheim Cup, but that's what everyone's saying. So she was asked about that, and then Stacy was asked about, you know, when you were actually holding the Solheim Cup in your hand, you handed it to Lexi. What did that mean?
Yeah, it was very special. It meant the world to me just to be here and to be part of this team. These girls are incredible. Words can't really describe just the personalities on this team and the talent that each and every one of them has. Like they've all said, from the beginning of the week, there was just something about this team that was different. The atmosphere, the energy, from the team rooms to the bus rides to the first tee experience. There was nothing like it, and just how we all came together and had fun and played some amazing golf on top of it. It was just great to be part of it.
Because she deserves that moment. I think she was kind of one of those first players to really get that first tee going loud and going crazy, and I think the Solheim Cup is what it is because Lexi started that, and she started with that energy, and all of my favorite Lexi memories are at the Solheim Cup, and I'm just super proud of her. I know today was hard. It was a hard day for her emotionally, I think, and just proud of her fight, and you know, she's been a leader of this team for a long time, on and off. She leads by the way she prepares and the way she goes about her business, and who knows, maybe she'll make another one.
All right, so after you have victory, in that wake, you also have the reality that there was a failure, there was a loss there. So Suzann Pettersen is going to be asked those questions. It includes the fact that you had Leona Maguire, who came into the Solheim Cup with a 7-2-1 record, who played 2 sessions, only 2 sessions. So she's going to get asked the hard questions. Suzann Pettersen was asked, what happened? What went into that? Why only 2 sessions when you have someone with that level of proficiency and success?
I mean, I've never lived my life regretting any decisions. You rather play with your gut feel and your heart, and sometimes you get outplayed. There was a reason why Leona and the lineup in the back was where it was. We know what they're capable of. We know what they're facing. If we were going to have a chance at this, we needed all 12 players, and it would be nice to have an anchor like Leona in the back, knowing she can take and get it done. So. I mean, it's a 12 women's team, and
it's always going to be hard to do the pairings. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get outplayed. Maybe you could have played other players. Maybe you could have faced different opponents if that would have changed the kind of outcome. I mean, you can always look back, but at the same time, I don't think we as a team have any regrets of what we did. We tried our best. I think coming off a very slow start again on Friday morning is kind of what hurt us. So that's something we internally have to work on, because it's tough over and over to kind of always feel like you're coming from behind. But it's very doable. We showed it again today. I thought yesterday was a good kind of fair competition, 2-2 in both sessions. So yeah, we're right there, but you also need a little bit of luck. I don't feel like we made an awful lot of putts overall throughout the week. And at the end of the day, it is a couple of points difference.
Why was Leona left out yesterday for the entire day? Because a lot of people will be asking that question, knowing how much she has contributed in the past to Solheim Cup.
It's extremely difficult to seed any players on this team. And the way it turned out, that's how it turned out.
So, in fairness, the kind of non-answer there that Suzanne gave to that question, that was Ian Carter, I could recognize his voice from the BBC, asking it. It shows you a kind of a contrast of captains where you've got Stacy going, no, we're going to use hard data to ensure that we're sending out the exact pairings that we want. And Suzanne Pettersen, it's not like this is anything new, but we know that she's an emotional captain and she's going to make decisions from her gut. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't work. And this time it didn't. But the last thing which I wanted to get to, because we've got a really big show coming up for you today. We've got a player that skyrocketed to popularity, winner on tour this year, coming up and joining us in just a few minutes. But the question is, and I know it's 2 years down the road, and I know there's still a lot of water yet to flow under the bridge, but the question is, where do the teams go as you start to build towards the future? Right? And I'm thinking like Team USA, if Stacy was willing, would it be a Julie Inkster situation and you go, Stacy, could you hang around for one more? There you can see in 26 in the Netherlands, 28 to Valhalla. But on the European side, my sense is that there's going to be a change in the captaincy. And, you know, maybe it's you look at, you know, Keegan Bradley coming in as a current player, young guy on the PGA Tour, young guy that's relative to those that had normally get the captaincy. So could it be a situation for, say, an Anna Nordqvist, who is 37, she'd be 39. Take a listen to this. This was from yesterday's presser, or Sunday's presser, sorry. This was from the media asking her about the quality of play, and immediately she shifts into, at the end of it, watch this, she shifts into this like competitor, hardened mindset, which, I don't know, just kind of showed me like captain potential.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize how much good golf has been played. I feel like Europe played really well. I mean, there's obviously not a lot of claps when we hit good shots. You kind of had to, you know, make a high five with your teammates. But I mean, it's a tough golf course, a lot of tough golf holes out there. There's been a lot of birdies and eagles made out there. Hats off to the Americans, and they played really well. I'm really proud of my team. We played just as good at times, just didn't seem to make some of those momentum-changing putts. But I don't think people realize how good the state of women's golf is. So I'm really proud to be a part of it as a player and as a vice captain. And yeah, I mean, congrats to the U.S. But I think we got some fuel and we're ready to be back in 26. And I can't wait to watch these girls compete again.
See, that's what I was talking about. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about some wins and the sting of a loss. Rory McIlroy coming close and failing to get it done again. What were his comments and thoughts following? The Fairways of Life show is presented by the PGA Tour Superstore. They are the #1 golf retailer from coast to coast. You need it, you can find it inside of their big, beautiful stores. Better yet, you're shopping with the pros.
got ball fit in 2000. Went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
PGA Tour Superstore pros aren't born. They're made. Every January, hundreds of associates talk to the top manufacturers, learn about the latest clubs, test the newest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together, hit over 100,000 balls, all so they can get you the perfect fit.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
Super easy to hit. Introducing the new PXG Black Ops irons, our first game improvement iron.
It's a larger face heel to toe.
It launches the ball high in the air and really far.
Much higher levels of forgiveness. You set that club down, creates a lot of confidence. It's supported by this X-Core column material.
And that's where you get improved ball speed. If you're looking for distance, forgiveness, and feel, Black Ops iron is going to be for you.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. So, in other golf news, Patton Kizzire won for the first time since 2018. This was the start of the FedEx Cup fall at the Procore. So, congratulations to him. 176 events since the last time he had a victory for the 38-year-old. He came in 132nd. Which is important, too. Now, all of a sudden, he's got the 2-year exemption and all the benefits that go along with it, including the Masters, PGA Championship, etc. I thought it was interesting because he said he wrote something down in his yardage book. He said, quote, "I'm here, I am now," close quote, to try to keep him centered to what he needs to do right now. Don't look back, don't look forward, do what's right here, right now. At the Irish Open, Rasmus Højgaard fired a final round 6 under 65. In doing so, he was able to eclipse Rory McIlroy and win the Amgen Irish Open at Royal County Down. It was awesome to see them playing a golf course that many people believe to be the best in the entire world. But the question remains for Rory McIlroy, okay, well, is it just an incredible final round and you got beat? Or was there something more? Rory bogeyed 2 of his final 4 holes, including a 3-putt at 17. So this is a clip from Rory after his round. This clip is courtesy of Off the Ball. And it's Rory reacting to the fact that, once again, he wasn't able to close.
Rory, I appreciate it's very raw at the minute, but can you appreciate the crowds, everybody out to see you, and everything that you've achieved overall in your career?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The support that I get I'm very lucky. I get so much support when I come back, and I certainly don't take it for granted. I sort of had to try to keep my composure walking up to the 18th green there, but I did that as best as I could, and but yeah, wish I could play in front of that sort of those fans in this atmosphere every week. It isn't quite like that, but yeah, certainly appreciate all the support and can't wait to come back.
Is this the toughest part of being a sports person, just those near misses?
It is. I'm getting used to it, unfortunately, this year, but hopefully the tide's going to turn here pretty soon, and I can turn all these close calls into victories.
Well done.
So the question is, I think, if thus the tide is out, then, to use Roy's vernacular, is it because of what he said, where he's played so much this year that he's mentally tired? And if he moves forward with what he's told us he's going to do for 25, which is dramatically cut back his schedule, I've heard numbers as high as 10 events, will that have him charged up, fired up, so that in the waning moments, he's able to close? We'll see how it plays itself out moving forward. Jon Rahm won the LIV event in Chicago. He also won the individual competition for the course of the season. The team event still lies in store. All right, when we come back on the Fairways of Life show, we're going to be joined by a player who rocketed to popularity through the course of 2024, became a winner on the PGA Tour for the very first time. Right after this, Jake Knapp is going to be our guest, and I'm hoping that we just get to know him a little bit better and hear how everything played out for him in the year that was and the years that will be. Stay with us. It's coming up.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The best feeling iron I've ever hit. Introducing the new Gen 7 irons, the greatest leap forward in irons technology, in performance, in PXG history. Our new quantum core material explodes off the face. Are you kidding me? The Gen 7 irons deliver groundbreaking new levels of forgiveness, speed, distance, and feel. That's what I'm talking about right there. Look at that trajectory. Just phenomenal. Gen 7. It doesn't get any better.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Hitting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're gonna need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
What would your ultimate golf experience be like? Just you and a friend? Or would you round up some buddies for a foursome? Just one day? Or an entire week? There's a good chance your ultimate golf experience could be Michigan's magnificent 10. 10 incredible courses set among 3 remarkable resorts. See for yourself. Book your ultimate golf experience today.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
PGA Tour Superstore pros aren't born. They're made. Every January, hundreds of associates talk to the top manufacturers, learn about the latest clubs, test the newest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
As we welcome you back to the Fairways of Life show, Matt Adams here with you. We're delighted to be joined by Jake Knapp, a winner on the PGA Tour. In fact, he's won at every level of professional golf that he has played. He earned his card by finishing 13th on the Korn Ferry Tour back in 2023 before the breakout season on the PGA Tour. 4 top 10s, including his victory back in February. Finished 59th in FedEx Cup points. He's currently 76th in the official world golf rankings. 26 starts to his credit on the PGA Tour, and many more in the Korn Ferry Tour and PGA Tour Canada as well, where he has won multiple times on those. Pleasure to have him join us at this time. Jake, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm doing good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure to have you on the program. So when you look back on the year that was on the PGA Tour for Jake Knapp, was it everything that in your wildest dreams you had hoped it would be?
I think for a rookie season, yeah, I couldn't really ask for, too much more. I think overall it's still just kind of, it would have been nice to finish top 50. I think after having a nice start and everything else, that kind of would have been the end goal to cap off a really good season. But at the same time, looking back at the start I got off to and just all the events I got to play, it was pretty exciting and a really fun year.
How many times did you just say to yourself, I can't believe it? Just like, to take a moment, I don't know, what do you call it? Gratitude or just recognition or what have you, where all of a sudden you go, wow, I can't believe what I'm actually doing. This is what I've always dreamed of.
Yeah, a few times for sure. I think, I think the Masters that entire week, it was definitely a bit that way. A few of the majors for sure. I mean, the U.S. Open I've gotten to play in before, but playing when you've really played your way in terms of winning or world ranking and stuff, it just feels different. And then, yeah, I think just being in the locker room, being around certain guys, having conversations with different guys I've looked up to for, most of my life. There were some situations where I was definitely like, man, it's pretty surreal that, whether it's like I have this guy's number and I'm able to text him now or whatever it might be. So definitely a few moments throughout the season like that for sure.
How much is the experience of what you have gone through and are continuing to go through with your march on the PGA Tour? How much is it about sharing the experience with other people close to you as well? Because obviously golf is always looked upon as such an individual game, but it never really is. You've got people that are there with you every step of the way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I've had like the same friend group for a long time, super close with my family. So I think it's been cool for all of us, especially since, it hasn't been a smooth ride up the mountain by any means. So everybody's kind of seen me go through some tough times, whether it's with injuries, bad golf, whatever it might be. And I've had, some great people in my corner to just help kind of pat me on the back when I needed it or kick me in the butt when I needed to. But yeah, I've been very fortunate to have the support system that I have throughout my entire career, and I wouldn't be where I am without them.
When you were at the height of this season with all of those top 10s that I just mentioned, you had a victory as well. You had some very, very prominent people, whether it was in an official capacity like as a television analyst or what have you, commenting on your golf swing. And the way that your swing looks so effortless, it looks so smooth, but it produces so much power. What was that like for you to have that kind of commentary on some level, but or maybe validation on another from these prominent people that are looking at your golf swing and you're like, darn right, I can win with this?
Yeah. I mean, being somebody who I wouldn't really necessarily say I'm a perfectionist, but I think all of us in golf, I think we're all just striving to get better. And so there's plenty of things about my swing or my game that I don't like. So it's always funny hearing people talk, so highly about my swing or what I do. And then some of the things they talk about, it's like things I wish I could have changed, or I wish I could change going forward for the rest of my life. So it's just funny, everybody's view of things is so different. I still have views of my swing and the things that I want to change in order what I think is going to make me better, over the rest of my career. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's cool that people have latched onto it. And I think I have a unique move for sure. It's just something that's naturally happened kind of over time. It's not really something that I've tried to strive for having like the smoothest swing or anything like that. So just try to move the way my body wants to, and get it moving a certain direction to hopefully get it more consistent and everything over time.
I know this question's kind of a chicken and the egg, but when you said it hasn't always been a smooth ride, what comes first, the confidence or the good play?
I would say the good play. I mean, confidence can come and go. Confidence, like, it's great when it's there, but that would mean that all you need to do is be confident to play well. And there's a lot of confident guys out there that go and have bad weeks all the time, myself included. So, the confidence is great, but at the same time, it's really just like the kind of skill and will, determination, all that kind of stuff that gets you through it. But confidence definitely plays a part. There's definitely times when you're out there and you feel like nothing can go wrong. And those times are great, but that's just not how golf is all the time. So the confidence definitely helps, but it's not the only piece in the puzzle.
It was such a cool story with you, with your grandfather, and the fact that he was such an incredible source of inspiration of yours. Is it cool for you in retrospect when you look back on the fact that you not only were introduced to the world of golf at its highest stage, but you also had a chance to honor your grandfather along the way? Is that kind of a cool bridge, that connection?
Yeah, I would say so. I think winning or getting on the tour and, just, wishing that he could have seen it or been a part of it. He took my brother and I to all our tournaments when we were younger, and, he was kind of the first one to call after you're done with the tournament, no matter where you were or what you shot. So, it would have been cool to see, or to be able to have him around, and for him to be able to see everything and what kind of transpired this year. But at the same time, I know he's up there, and I know he's got a front row seat at all. So, I appreciate him and everything that he did for us and my family, but, I know he's still able to get a good watch in these days.
When you talk about the triumvirate, you said specifically skill, will, and determination. Were there any pearls of wisdom that he gave you and your family kind of as kids that you still remember to this day?
Just to play hard. I mean, yeah, he just instilled in us that, doesn't really matter what you shoot and everything else. Like, he's still going to love you, and family's still going to love you, which I think is really nice to have growing up as a kid. But at the same time, that kind of also meant that I was the one always beating myself up, if everybody else was always supporting me so much. So I learned how to be my own critic, which I think is important in this game. But yeah, just to play hard, never to give up. He would always be the first one to kind of give you a little elbow if you were quitting out there, if he noticed something like that. So just had to make sure you kept on trucking no matter what you were doing.
Jake, did you ever have to go through the period when, how do I phrase it, you judged yourself based upon the score that you shot on that particular day?
I think I still slightly do it on a daily basis. I think I wouldn't say I judge myself necessarily. I mean, I think my happiness post round is definitely affected for a few minutes after. And then once you usually have, a conversation with somebody after the round, it kind of brings you back to earth, and, you go back and you figure out what you did wrong, and you go try to, do better the next day.
How about the rigors of professional golf? How is your body holding up to what it takes to travel, to practice, to play, etc.?
I mean, this year was definitely I'd say the most amount of tournaments I've played in the shortest period of time. It's not the most I've really played in a year, but usually it just gets a little bit more stretched out. This year was really condensed, so taking a little bit of a beating, but done a good job of keeping myself kind of remotely healthy. I had some issues that I was dealing with last season, actually, on Corn Ferry that I didn't really get to take care of, and they kind of bled into this year. So I'm dealing with that now, just taking a little time off, getting healthy. But I'll be ready to go by the start of next year. Just not going to be able to play in the fall season as much as I'd like to. But yeah, I mean, it's a big part of it. We play a lot of events, it's a lot of week after week, and you really got to make sure you look after yourself. I mean, if I was still 22, I wouldn't have to worry about it as much, but being 30 years old now, I just got to be a little more careful.
Jake and I share an affiliation with Perry Ellis. You can see the original Penguin on our respective shirts. He's got the big Penguin. I've got the little Penguin, which somehow seems appropriate on this one. How did you get associated with Penguin, and how much are you enjoying that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, it's been cool. I wasn't really sure who I was going to go with after last year on Korn Ferry, and was kind of debating which route to go. And when I talked to Brad Holder and everything, I think it was just like his overall passion for like the company, the brand, everything else to just, he just has a lot of energy, and he's really excited about it. And it's fun to be around a company, similar to PXG, where you can tell that they just want to like grow and get it better and bigger and everything else. And I just kind of latched on with that. So Brad and I hit it off. We actually went to a hockey game and talked before I officially ended up signing with them. But yeah, it's been a great partnership, I think, on both sides. And they have some fun pieces and some nice casual wear like this, and I love it.
Yeah, obviously your relationship with fitness is something that has been discussed a great deal as well. I know it's one of your favorite hobbies. How much did that play into your decision with the original Penguin brand? Because the brand it really fits extremely well. And how else to describe it? You tell me. But I think that's part of what makes it so appealing.
For sure. I think for me the cool thing is that they have so many different avenues. Like they have some nice kind of dress up clothing that you can wear, whether it's suits and whatnot. The golf clothing obviously is super nice. I think it's pretty fun. They have some crazy patterns, and they have some really subtle stuff, so they kind of cover everything there. Everything fits super well. And then also, yeah, with the workout clothing, they have some shorts with that liner on the inside, which is super comfortable, that I'm actually wearing right now. So yeah, I just love everything from head to toe from them.
Very, very cool. Original Penguin is the official apparel brand of Jake Knapp, if you guys want to check it out, because it is some, like he's saying, a great variety and very, very cool stuff indeed. So if you guys were going to go away someplace on vacation, would it involve golf, or where would you go? Would it be a beach or something? What's the destination for you?
Yeah, probably a beach, most likely. Or, I was hopeful this offseason I was going to try to go over to Europe somewhere and do like a road trip, just rent a car, rent a van, do something, and just go drive around for a week and a half or something like that. But I'm doing some PT, so that unfortunately is going to be put on hold. But yeah, doing something like that. No golf would be ideal. I love golf, but I also I wouldn't say I have a tough time, playing golf just for fun and anything like that. But I'd rather kind of keep golf as work and enjoy a little vacation when I can.
Well, when you said at the start of the interview that you pretty much kind of had the same group of friends and all the rest, hanging out with the same buddies, are they golfing friends, or do you actually have friends that you can kind of get away from everything with?
They're pretty much just golfing friends. That's how we all got so close. I met like the kind of the core of them. Like we met when we were in like 8th grade, and that was the first time where I had guys that were my age that played golf. So we just played golf with each other every single day and hung out. We've all been super close, or best friends ever since. And then the rest of them, we all kind of met, either they worked at my home course or went to a college nearby, something like that. And we've known each other for kind of 7, 8 years ish. So we usually do like a little boys trip in the off season every year, and we go play golf, something like that. So I'm moving into a new place in a couple weeks here, so they're going to move out here and help move all my stuff, and I think we're going to do a little golfing.
That's the ultimate judge of a friend. They'll help you move a couch. That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
All right. So what do your buddies call you?
What's get called on?
What's the nickname that your buddies call you?
Unfortunately, I'm the guy that doesn't really have a nickname. I'm just Jake. That's it. Plain and simple.
We're going to be back with more of the Fairways of Life right after this with Just Jake. Stay with us.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
What would your ultimate golf experience be like? Just you and a friend? Or would you round up some buddies for a foursome? Just one day? Or an entire week? There's a good chance your ultimate golf experience could be Michigan's magnificent 10. 10 incredible courses set among 3 remarkable resorts. See for yourself. Book your ultimate golf experience today.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm-up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
Super easy to hit. Introducing the new PXG Black Ops irons, our first game improvement iron.
It's a larger face heel to toe.
It launches the ball high in the air and really far.
Much higher levels of forgiveness. You set that club down, creates a lot of confidence. It's supported by this X-Core column material.
And that's where you get improved ball speed. If you're looking for a distance, forgiveness, and feel, Black Ops iron is going to be for you.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. Matty here with you. Jake Knapp is our guest. So, Jake, you mentioned a couple times you're rehabbing, you're resting, you're going through some PT. Can I ask you what's going on? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just dealing with a little shoulder issue. Just kind of dealt with it for most of this year, and was hoping it would kind of get better just by doing some work with some guys during the season and getting some treatment. But looks like it's just kind of one of those things that just needs some time off and a little bit of rest. But yeah, so taking care of that, should be good to go in a few weeks time, something like that, and then we'll be able to get back to work.
Are you working with a trainer? Are you able to work out right now?
A little bit, yeah. Mostly lower body stuff. Upper body, I can use like a few different machines, but really trying not to put it through too much stress yet. So kind of taking it easy for the most part, and then just training some lower body and some core stuff, and that's about it.
Dude, how are you handling that with as fit as you are, right? How are you handling it? Are you like every day getting up going, oh my God, I'm getting so fat?
Yeah, pretty much. It's driving me crazy. I mean, I'm one of those like lucky few that, if I don't train, I really just get skinny. I have a tough time putting on weight, so I just lose muscle mass, but that also just kind of eats away at me. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm coping with it the best I can. I know that, big picture, I need to be able to play golf, at 100%, and that's what I care about most. So if I lose a few lbs in the process, that's okay.
What's your connection with hockey?
Really started off with my grandfather. He's from Winnipeg, and so is my mom. And he was a big hockey guy, so he got us into it. And the Ducks started kind of right when I was born, and so he had season tickets for the first few years when they were super cheap, and then just kind of grew up playing basic street hockey, started rollerblading. He would take us ice skating, stuff like that. And then, I didn't really play much organized hockey, but hockey was always one thing that was always on TV in his place when my brother and I would go over there, and my cousins and I. So it was just always a big part of our family. We just always watched and whatnot, and just was a big fan ever since I was a little kid.
I take it he was a Jets fan?
He was, and then when the Jets went away, that's when he kind of became a Ducks fan. He was actually a Bruins fan, or kind of a Boston everything fan for a little while, or just had a lot of different like sports memorabilia, and a lot of it was like Red Sox and Bruins and whatnot. But yeah, we were still big Ducks fans and go to a bunch of Ducks games growing up. And then once the Jets came back, now the Jets are kind of like my second favorite team, basically.
Very cool. Do you collect anything at all, or is there just too much experience, too much coming at? Like when you went to the Masters, did you buy a lot of stuff or pick up any memorabilia?
No, to be honest, I'm fortunate enough in this line of work to like receive a lot of things and cool stuff and things like that. So, I feel like I'm already overloaded as is with just a bunch of knickknacks and whatnot. But yeah, I got one of the famous Masters gnomes. I got one of those, and then I got like a hoodie from the Masters, and I got this hat and a couple other ones, and then that's kind of about it. I don't really think I bought a bunch of souvenirs this year. I think some of the events give you some cool stuff, but I'm the king of just kind of like keeping stuff as memories over the years. So if I buy too much, I'll have way too much on my hands.
Well, what will you do with the new place? Will you have a man cave, or will basically the whole house be a man cave?
I think the whole house, pretty much. Yeah, I think pretty much. It'll be pretty obvious that I live there. But no, I'm definitely gonna have one room that'll be set up to mainly just be golf clubs and some different tournament stuff and things like that.
It's very cool. Your equipment. Could you talk to us about what you're playing right now, so we get some understanding there too?
Yeah, most of the equipment's, it's been the same for a long time. Same, I'm working on a bunch of stuff this off season once I'm able to do, full swings and everything. We're working hard to get a driver dialed in with PXG. Gonna work on getting some new irons dialed in for next year. We got a new putter, which I'm excited about from them. And yeah, but everything else, I got driver, mini driver, got a 5-wood or 2-iron that I kind of go in between, same irons, same wedges, and maybe a new flat stick. But yeah, working on a few new things, but definitely need to get up to 100% to get to work on that soon.
How much do you get into the nuances of the equipment, making sure that you know what kick point it has, that your shafts have been spined, et cetera, what your lie angle is? Are you into that, or do you kind of go through the fitting and go, you know what, guys, I can see the numbers, I can see the spin rates, you set me up with what's best?
I'm a little bit of both. I'm probably more on like the I definitely know more side. When I compare it to what some guys are, you'd be surprised how many guys are on tour that, don't know, don't care. And, they trust their guy to fit them right and put it in there, and that's it. For me, I think just because I grew up like bending a lot of my own stuff and regripping all my own clubs and things like that, I think I always think about it a little bit more and give it a little more thought as to, like, oh, what if I do, hard step this or add a few more grams here? That's why there's usually a lot of lead tape all over my stuff, as I'm a big tinker in that way. But at the same time, like when it comes to shafts and things like that, I've played the same shaft since college. I've played the same driver shaft for the most part since college. My setup's kind of been the same. I'll mess around with a few things here or there, but for the most part, I like to keep things the same and just tinker, the slightest little degree or gram one way or the other, but it's usually all for good reason. It's just to try to play better golf.
And just kind of to wrap up, and I am going to ask you about, who your sponsors are as a means to say thank you to you for taking the time with us today to say thank you to them. But before we get to that, you obviously know from the year that you've now spent on the PGA Tour that you are your own brand out there, right? You are the CEO of your own brand,
For sure.
the Jake Knapp brand. So my question to you is, what do you want that brand to represent?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, just somebody who, loves playing golf, works hard, enjoys I enjoy the full spectrum of it, the training and dieting and stretching and, leading up to a tournament preparation, all that kind of stuff. And in terms of my overall brand, just somebody that's, truthful and honest, and somebody who, really enjoys it out there, even though I tend to be somebody who's, not necessarily as emotional on the golf course until it gets down to maybe those last few holes or something. But that's a good question. I think just overall, I've just tried to always be myself. Who that is, whoever people kind of want to see me, what they want to see me for. But for the most part, just pretty laid back, easy going. And I just try to have a good time out there.
Very cool. You told us about Penguin. You told us about PXG. Who are the other companies that you've associated yourself with, if we can?
Yeah. So obviously the Anaheim Ducks, hopefully they'll be standing on my bag for next year. I have a company, Paradox, on my collar, which is a great group of guys. I'm actually spending some time with them a few weeks at their headquarters here in Arizona. Echo Store, who I'm going to see them in Boston in a couple weeks, and then Madison Capital as well. And then Sean McCauley with the McCauley Group. So got a good team around me. A lot of kind of young companies that are all like-minded to me, that are, young, hungry, kind of new into their area, and they're just trying to strive, get better, get bigger. And, it's been fun to kind of grow with them and, hopefully have a good year and continue to do the same.
Did you, by the way, trim your locks?
I did a little bit. Yeah.
Isn't that your source of power?
I needed to get it cut up a little bit. And,
right,
but I'm not playing as much right now, so I got time to grow it back.
Fair enough. I got two questions for you. First one, this one, and we'll wrap it up. Thank you this has been awesome. The first question I have for you, 5 years from now, where do you see Jake Knapp at that time? What has changed?
What has changed? Hopefully a lot more wins. Hopefully a major win in there, if not multiple. I think for me, I've just always said, like, I just want to feel like I squeeze every last drop out of myself. I think this last year it was good to see, kind of where I feel like where I feel like I am right now, and where that puts me in my career at this point. And I think I showed myself that I have a lot of, potential, but at the same time, I still got a lot to prove, and just prove to myself. So in 5 years, hopefully a lot of wins, and, better world ranking and a few majors, and, hopefully we're having the same conversation about that in 5 years, and we can check a few boxes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have a suspicion that box might include representation on some President's Cup and Ryder Cup teams along the way too. So the last question I have for you, everything you've said is woven with inspiration. And I want to go back to what we discussed in the first segment, where you talked about skill and will and determination, because the platforms that you're on right now, Jake, there are people that are harboring their own hopes in their heart that may be, as you put it, not having a smooth ride and trying to achieve their dreams. What message do you have for people about pursuing and make sure that you maintain your passion to do what in your heart you're capable of?
Yeah, I think when it comes to like pursuing what you want to do, I think not getting too distracted by what the others are doing around you, whether they're in a similar profession or avenue or whatever you want to call it. Just trying to really make sure you stay in your own lane and do what you think is best. And I think if there's one thing I've definitely learned in golf in general, is as long as you feel like you are doing what's best for you, then that's what works best for you. If that means you grind for 12 hours a day, then great. If that means you only practice for 3 hours a day and you just feel like that's what works best for you, then that's great too. But everybody that I've talked to or that I've worked, closely with, in golf. Everybody kind of does things differently, but the one thing that's consistent is their mindset is like, oh, this is 100% right for me. And this is what works for me, whether it's practicing all the time or not practicing at all. So, you know, kind of have the full spectrum that works. But usually I would say also that, you know, I think early on in my career when I would look at guys on TV and, you know, look at how well they play, or I watch all these great shots that they're hitting, and I'm like, oh man, I can't do that every single time. But, you know, you're only watching the guys that are hitting every shot to a foot, and you're watching guys that are winning basically when you're watching on TV. A good piece of advice is go to a PGA Tour event and follow a guy for an entire round, follow a guy for 4 days, and watch him hit some bad shots and, you know, miss a few short putts. But yeah, I think just basically trying to focus on yourself, you know, stay in the daily tasks of just like doing the right things day in, day out, and it'll start to pay off long term.
Yeah, very cool. The grind is as important as the glory, isn't it? Jake Knapp has been our guest. We wish you the very best with the shoulder getting stronger. Can't wait to see you back out there again. Thank you very, very much for your time today. It was good to talk to you.
Of course. Thank you. It's great talking with you. Appreciate you having me on.
Our pleasure. All right, folks, we are all done with the Fairways of Life show today, so we wish you guys the very, very best in whatever lies before you. Until we are together again, be well. Goodbye for now.